Let's go. You guys excited? Oh, I'm very excited. I'm elated. Just thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Excited for this game week. This camp has been outstanding. The boys are in a really, really good place physically, mentally, emotionally. They're just excited to hit somebody else. It's been a long camp. We've been in what we like to call the bunker, the no social media challenge I put on the players, the coaches. I really wasn't on it until like last week, and then I'm back off of it again. It's kind of good not to be on it. Kind of feel good about that. But it's been a really good camp. Feel like we built some good depth and answered some questions from position battles and things like that. So we're really excited to go from there.
We'll get started with some questions.
You guys want me to answer the question?
Just answer.
Okay. So yes, Bryce Underwood will be our starting quarterback. I'll confirm that. He's earned the opportunity. It was not given to him. All the other quarterbacks had a really good camp as well. Really thought Jaden Davis has really come along and taken the next steps. He'll be the two behind him, and he's done a really good job. But Bryce took the necessary steps and really took the position. Took ownership of his abilities and took ownership of the team and became a leader on the team and a guy that guys look to. So, just did the things the right way and used his skill and never tried to do too much. For a young guy, very mature beyond his years, and he's still only 18 years old. So he's gonna make mistakes, but that's what we're here for. Coaches and players, we're all gonna support him as he goes on this journey. We go on this journey together. So, but he's earned that job.
On the right, Larry.
When did you tell him, and when did you tell the rest? What was Bryce's reaction?
Yeah, told him all yesterday. He was as calm as he always is. I think his dad was a little bit more excited and more emotional about it than Bryce was, and he was very happy though. Bryce is a very even-keeled kid. He doesn't get up too high, get too low, and but he was very excited about the opportunity, and he said that's why he came here, to be that guy and not given the opportunity because he earned it. So Dad said he might shed a tear on Saturday. I'm sure he will. I'm sure Mom will too, but he's definitely earned the opportunity.
On the right, Dennis.
Sherrone, Bryce said nobody's seen a freshman like him. Have you ever seen a freshman like him? And when did you know that he could be the starter as a freshman? When did you think he could be the starter?
Probably halfway through camp, figured that I was like, this guy's pretty good. I think this guy might be the guy, and hit a scrimmage, and I think it was the first time we went into the stadium. He made a couple throws, and I just looked at Chip, and he just nodded at me and looked at Coach Pojik, who's behind me, and it's like, yeah, I think this is the guy. But you wanted to see him do that every day, every practice, every time we went in the stadium. And have I seen a freshman like him, quarterback? Not that I can imagine, not that I can think of. It's he's only the fourth freshman starting quarterback here, so not very many.
The offensive line, it sounds like most of those spots are worked out. You have
Yep.
all five in place.
Yeah. Evan Link will start at left tackle. Gio, one of our captains, will start at left guard. Greg Crippen will start at center. The right guard spot, Brady Norton, looks like he'll start right now, but Nato Phobie is going to play as well. And right tackle will be Andrew Sprague. So I feel like we're in a good place with those guys. And we've got guys behind him that can play. Lawrence Attar, Jake Gunera, Blake Frazier. Blake Frazier's going to play. So we feel like we got good depth in that group.
It sounds like Babalola had an injury. Just if you could tell us what's going on there.
Yeah. He had a knee injury, and he'll have surgery, season-ending knee injury. So praying for him. He's in good spirits though, and that's what we're worried about. So he's in good spirits, and we'll take care of him, and he'll come out stronger than ever.
On the left, John.
With Bryce, we know about his frame, his arm, his good feet. What beyond those things convinced you that he's the guy to hand the keys to this early?
Yeah, one, you put him in adverse situations and he responds. Doesn't rarely, never makes the same mistake twice. Even if he makes a mistake, it doesn't come back and it's the same thing. You're like, oh, dude, we got to go through this again. That didn't happen. And when you have the other teammates around you talking about him, especially on defense, and them coming up to him and say, hey, good job, but having those conversations, then you kind of know. And I mean, he talks to everybody. He assimilates with everybody: offense, defense, DBs, D tackles, O line, D line. So like, and then when you feel like somebody gravitates and has got the team, then you feel like you got your quarterback.
On the left, Chris.
Do you think Rod Moore might play or Hogan Hansen in the opener? Where are they?
We'll see. They're trending really well. Both those guys are. So Hogan's practice, Rod's practice. So, but we're not gonna rush if we don't need to. Make sure to just take it on their time and the doctor's time. But they're both in a good place. So we'll see.
And then with Mikey Keene, is he still working back?
Yeah, he's working back and he's looked better the past couple of days. So we'll see how he looks today.
Stand the left there, Anthony.
They were position battles on defense, obviously. Nick was one of them,
Mhm.
defensive tackle. Have guys separated there, or is that ongoing still?
Yeah, I mean, the defense is another story. It's like there's just so many guys that could play, and like you don't blink if this guy's out there versus this guy's out there. We're gonna roll guys. There's gonna be a lot of different numbers, different people out there, and so defensive tackle, there's gonna be 5 or 6, 7 guys that might can play at once, and nickel, it's gonna be interchangeable. So I think that's still working itself out as we go through the week of different guys that'll play in different situations.
On the back right, Angelique.
Sherrone, I'm just curious, Chip, is he gonna be in the press box or on the field?
He'll be upstairs.
And did he, I mean, did you talk about that in terms of having someone there working with Bryce on the field?
Yep. So Coach Josh Sinagoga, he's our assistant quarterback coach. He'll be down there, and then obviously I'll be down there and any support he needs. But Bryce will go straight to the phones after anything, or put the headset on and talk to Chip. So, but yeah, Chip likes to call from upstairs, so he'll be up there.
You don't have the luxury this year of like 5 straight home games, and when you have a freshman quarterback, what's your concern level in terms of home road, it's that kind of rhythm?
Kind of like away games, a little change up.
On the left, Clayton.
Who do you anticipate being next to Bryce at running back for the first snap, and who's separated as the kind of third guy, or has someone?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's 1A, 1B with Justice and Jordan. So we'll see who practices the best this week, and that'll be the person that's first. But they'll both play. They'll both play a lot. And right now, RB3 it's between 3 guys, but Jasper Parker's really taking the turn to possibly be that guy. But you still got Micah and you got Bryson. So all 3 of those guys will practice this week and see what we got.
In the back left, Bob.
Sherrone, is there, with a guy as talented and hyped as Bryce, is there a delicate balance between not letting the hype get out of control and protecting him to a certain degree, protecting either with play calling, media, because, he has said a few things that are interesting. Do you have to do some protecting in that regard?
I mean, I think within the game plan, you're always going to try to make sure he doesn't do too much and make sure whatever it is we need to do to win, that's what we're going to do. But as far as the media piece, and he's dealt with media his whole life. I think since he's been like 14 years old, he's been one of the best players around, best players in his neighborhood. So he's pretty humble and pretty, but he's confident. He's like a confident guy. But when he's around his teammates, he's as humble, as hardworking as anybody you've ever been around. So that's all we're going to do. Just make sure we take care of him on game days.
Can he do everything?
Oh, yeah.
On the left, Ryan.
Do you have a great job on the wrap? You're have as interim head coach for weeks 3 and 4. Is there certain things in weeks 1 and 2 that you want to see from coaches to maybe separate themselves and be that guy?
No, I got a pretty good idea, but we'll discuss that internally, and when that comes up, we'll make that known.
On the right, Charles.
Yeah, you mentioned Jalen being the backup. Do you plan for him to play on Saturday? And if Bryce doesn't get off to a quick start, how much leeway does he have?
He's the starting quarterback, so we're going to be, patient with him and let him play. Like I said, he might make a mistake and want to still build his confidence as well. He is a confident guy, but he's 18 years old and he's a true freshman. So we're going to do everything we can to put him in a position to be successful.
And you plan for Jalen to play on Saturday?
Yeah, we'll see.
Back left, Joel.
The leadership that Bryce exudes, obviously a lot of that comes naturally, but the arrangement he has with Max and
Mhm.
with them, why is that what can those guys, I guess, glean from each other?
Yeah, I think that.
They've got them to just set that up themselves.
Yeah, I think that was huge. Brady came up to me and told me when I was talking about roommates and everything. I was initially going to set him up, I think, with Marlon, and he's just like, I want to be with Bryce. I was like, what? He's like, I want to be with Bryce. I was like, why? He's like, just let's get that done. I was like, okay, cool. You're a captain. We can do that. And just started thinking about it. I was like, oh, okay, got it. The messaging, the things that they talk about every night, the leadership qualities that Brady has. He just wants to imprint to Bryce, and he has it. He doesn't say, as far as Bryce, he doesn't say too much, but he'll say stuff when it's needed, especially to the older guys, because he doesn't want to cross that boundary yet. But now, as you're the starting quarterback, you got the leeway to do that. So, but he does a really good job of handling all that, and he's got a guy like Brady, he's got guys like Gio, guys like Marlon, guys that are leaders that have played Crippen, that have played a lot of football, that understand it, so he can lean on them as well.
On the right here, Aaron.
Saturday is obviously going to be a big moment for Bryce. What's the message to him about handling everything?
Be him. That's it. Be him. Don't do too much. Just be yourself. Yourself is really good, and that's all we need you to do.
Front left there, Isaiah.
You've now had a full spring ball and fall camp with Chip Lindsey.
Mhm.
How have you seen the players kind of acclimate to him and vice versa? And how important is that to kind of have everyone seemingly on the same page as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, it's super important. Then the players love him. They absolutely love him in every way. They respect him highly as a coach and as a mentor, as a leader, but they love him as a person, and they want to run through a wall for him. They play extremely hard for him, and it's fun to be in the meetings and hear him talk to them and hear the responses and just the back and forth of the positivity. So it's been great. Excited to see what the offense looks like. Obviously been in it, seen it. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be exciting, but we're still gonna have our DNA of who we are and what we do, just maybe a little bit differently.
On the left, Chris.
Beyond your two corners, I'm guessing it's Zeke and Jair, who's kind of emerged as number 3, and then the same wide receiver behind Donovan. Who do you like there?
Yeah, corners, there's a bevy of guys. It's Shamari Earls, it's Josiah Edmonds, it's Jaden Sanders. We also moved Elijah Dotson to corner. So those 4 guys that are pushing, even pushing Zeke to go be that guy. Jair's really cementing himself as like corner number 1, and Zeke obviously with experience and what he's done. But those young guys, they're really good. They're going to be really, really good. So it's fun to have competition and guys pushing guys so nobody can get comfortable. We always talk about growth and comfort don't coexist, and like that is a position they're getting pushed every single day. Receiver-wise, Donovan McCulley's had an outstanding camp. Really excited about him. He earned the number 1. He will be the number 1 guy. You go out there in 11 personnel day 1, and it's going to be Samaj Morgan. And then the other guy that's really stepped up is Channing Goodwin. He's really taken the next step to be that, 3rd guy. And then, the next group behind him is Kendrick Bell and Fred Moore and Anthony Simpson and, Andrew Marsh. Andrew Marsh is going to play. Andrew Marsh is going to be our starting kick returner. Andrew Marsh is dynamic. He's going to touch the football. Jamar Browder, another young freshman that's going to be really good. Peyton O'Leary's steady Eddie that's been out there. So we've got a really great group of receivers and deep group. Want to see them on game day. Want to see them with the lights and the action out there to see how they respond. But it's going to be fun to watch.
Stay on the left here, Clayton.
New Mexico is new staff, like 50 new players or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's nuts.
How do you prepare for that, and what should
Absolutely
people expect
nuts.
from your opponent?
I think they're going to be very well coached. I think they're going to play sound physical football. Coach Eck, actually there's a connection. So Coach Eck and I were both GAs for Dave Borbely. Dave Borbely's like one of my closest mentors. He was the O-line coach at Louisville when I was coaching there. And Coach Eck actually, and I don't even know Coach Eck, he probably talked to Borbs about it, but he was his GA when he was at Colorado. And so there's a connection there. So I know he's going to be well coached. I know he's going to have this team prepared. They run a ridiculous amount of trick plays. It's kind of like we do, but I think a little bit more. So we got to be ready for that. They've got a lot of transfers, and starts with their quarterback that came over from Idaho, and he's been in big games. They were at Oregon last year, and it was 24-14, I think. So it's going to be a great challenge for our players, but we really just have to worry about not just the what, but the how. You know, how we prepare, how we practice, how we get ready for this game is going to be the most important piece.
Back right, Carlos.
Just, you mentioned that, you know, Bryce has been dealing with all the media since he was 14. That's still only 4 years. He's a young guy.
Wild. Wild.
And
Yeah.
so when the hype starts drumming up, as you said, there's going to be a lot of expectations, you know, true freshmen, the Heisman talk starts, all that. How do you expect him to handle that kind of pressure or hype? Is he the kind of guy who embraces it, or is he going to turn his phone off anymore?
I think he'll embrace it. I think he kind of likes it. And I think he'll also turn it into fuel. You know, he doesn't really get it into the point where he makes it about himself. You know, I asked him a question like, "What's his goal?" And it was just me and him. He said, "Do everything I can to help my team win." That's it. Like that's all you want to hear. And all those other things, I think everybody has individual goals and they should have them. But ultimately, you should be about the team, and he definitely is about the team and wanting to make sure the team is at their best. So there is hype, but that's what happens when you're the starting quarterback in Michigan. You know, that's what you ask for. So they all deal with it, and that's why we're all here to help them.
Got time for a few more. Did I see your hand back there, Andrew?
As far as the quarterback battle, what led to Jaden, getting that number 2 spot?
Yeah, I mean, just his execution throughout camp of what he did on a day-to-day basis, not only how he studied and how he prepared, but how he practiced and the things that he did, the plays that he made in practice consistently, and then his leadership capabilities when he went in the huddle, when he was with the offense, like how they reacted to him. And he did all the things possible in his power to make himself that number 2 position.
On the right, Tony.
Yeah, our first time talking to you since the NCAA ruling came down, I guess, how have you compartmentalized that? What's your message to the staff, to the players?
Ready for New Mexico. All that stuff's just ready to go play. They can't harp on that now, so I'm just ready to go play the game.
Back left, Bob.
Sherrone, last year, Michigan had one of its lowest output offensive teams ever, and obviously you got different coordinator and everything else. How dramatically can it improve in 1 year from last year to this with Lindsey and Bryce Underwood and everybody else?
I guess we'll see. I think we'll be excited to see what we see on Saturday.
Got time for 2 more. I got Isaiah and John.
I asked you a couple weeks ago about the players that have surprised. You've mentioned a couple names like Jasper Parker and moving Elijah over. Just kind of the same question, like now that you're through camp and into game week.
Yeah.
Who's all kind of surprised you?
Continually to say Cole Sullivan. Yeah, he's a guy that just keeps standing out. I think the other guy up front is Trey Pierce. Trey Pierce has taken steps to make himself as like one of the top D tackles and possibly an all Big Ten D tackle. And I remember I was in a defensive line meeting and they all have their goals written up, and he said that was one of his goals. And he's taken himself and put himself in that position to do that, to be in line to one of the better D tackles in the conference. And I'm really excited to watch Trey. And talked about the corners. The safeties, Brandon Hillman has taken the next step. He's a tone setter. He's a tone setter all over the field. Him and T.J. Metcalf. But Mason Curtis is another guy. They're all over the place. It's hard to pin down one, like I said. But probably in my mind, the guy that jumps out the most as a guy that's been here is Trey Pierce. Trey Pierce has really taken those leaps that we needed him to be a guy.
Finish up with